Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? It's Thursday, the 20th of April. Man United are back in action tonight. It's a big one. It's a big one against Sevilla. After that 2-2 draw, the disappointment of that second half against Sevilla at Old Trafford last week. We obviously buried that with the impressive result, I would say, against Forest, the team we should be beating, but still impressive nonetheless. We go to Seville. Again, what is it? Is this second? I don't know how many times we've been to Sevilla now. And I'm still not there. But it's better to be in England today. It's too hot there. It's too hot there. We've got the better position here. We're going to preview the game coming up tonight. Rashford's back, Sabitzer's back, Shaw's back. I'll run through my starting 11 and we can predict it and discuss it here as a community this morning. And I'm going to be speaking about Rasmus Højlund. I'm going to call him Højlund. I'm probably annihilating his name, just like I do with most. We're going to speak about him after reports from Denmark said that Manchester United have expressed an interest in signing him. Now, he has had a fantastic season with Atalanta, and he's one of 5 strikers I've got on my list, which is a video that's coming out a little bit later on, not this week, probably next week. Big up to Stephen for helping with the research for that. But we're going to take a look at Højlund. We're going to discuss his strengths and weaknesses and whether or not he'd fit inside this Manchester United system. Then we'll run through everything that Ten Hag said in his press conference. We'll speak about Garnacho in the Under-20s World Cup. Hey, there's tons to speak through, as there is every single day. That's why it's good that we do these shows. Who's down there in the comments? Good morning to all of you. Kenneth, I see you down there. Lily, N, you're there as well. Alex, Gungshi. We've got Josh, we've got Ant, we've got Julie, we've got T, Charlie, Fatty. We've got all the regulars down here. Matt Frost, how you doing? Oh, you're not feeling it today. 3-1 loss. Well, you can leave. You can get lost, Matt Frost. Don't know. That was a terrible one. Well, we might lose. We'll speak about predictions later on. Jamie Lord, DP, good morning to you. Haley, we've got Mark Fossey and Colin Brady watching on Facebook. Hey, there's Reds all around the world, as there always is. And I'll tell you what, we'll kick off the show by doing a bit of it. Oh, by doing this, right? We'll kick off the show by adding a poll. You can let me know what you think the result is going to be tonight. Predictions for the Sevilla. Predictions for tonight. Do you think Sevilla go through or do you think United go through? Because they're the only 2 results, right? Sevilla go through or Man United go through. Right. Let me put that down there as the poll. So that'll be the poll that runs throughout the show. And a little bit later, we'll get to that before we run through everything else. But look how beautiful Sevilla looks. Man, Seville is such a spot. If you've never been to Seville, honestly, make sure you get the chance to go there. I can see down here, I think, oh, wow. Man, Jay, Gungshi, and Nathan, absolute heroes. All 3 of you gifting 5 memberships at the start of the show. You know what I was randomly listening to this morning? And this is really random. Anybody ever played GoldenEye N64? I was sitting there listening to the pause music. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. An absolute banger of a beat. Absolute banger. 30 degrees already in Seville. There's going to be some melting Manchester United fans. Nat, how you doing, man? Nat from Thailand. I was actually speaking about the interview I did with you randomly the other day with somebody. Member for 17 months. Absolute legend indeed. Heroes, all of you. But yeah, look how beautiful it looks out there. I'm looking forward to that game tonight. Yeah, so Mr. Anderson, you're not wrong down there. Bruno will be missed. I'm not looking forward. That's a bit harsh. No, I'm still looking forward to watching United, but I don't think we can replace Bruno. I really don't think we can. Something I wanted to speak about before we get into the show, I want to congratulate Manchester United's women's team last night on a really big win over Arsenal, at least Sports Village. 1-0 win. Alessia Russo scoring again. I think that's 4 goals in last 4 appearances against Arsenal. United's women's team are top of the league. They are currently 4 points ahead of Chelsea, who do have 2 games in hand, but that's given a little bit of a buffer over Arsenal. And it's been an impressive season from them. I've kind of been watching it quietly in the background. I wish that I had more time to watch those games. I really do. But at this moment in time, I don't. I do intend to cover the women's team a bit more once I've actually got... I've kind of got my head around all the things I'm juggling at the moment. There's lots of spinning plates going on in the United People's Team community. I keep saying it. There's loads going on behind the scenes. I promise you, I'm not just going on the live shows, doing the lunchtime video, and then just going and sitting down and doing nothing. There's lots and lots going on, and it's all exciting. It really, really is. Speaking of exciting, the draw for the giveaway. It's going to happen tonight, and it's going to happen tomorrow on the live show. It's going to close tonight. If you want to win a pair of tickets to go and see United against Brighton at Wembley on Sunday, Enter the draw. It's completely free. All you got to do is put your name and your email address in, tick a couple of boxes. Simple as that. The draw will be made tomorrow morning live on the show. Someone's going to be getting them. Great giveaways here on United People's TV these days, if I do say so myself. And of course, we've still got the Xbox Series X to give away. Not give away, but it's the raffle draw. That's going on until the end of April. Woo! But yeah, impressive from Man United's women's team last night. It wasn't exactly the best performance, but it was a win nonetheless. Absolutely. Now let's speak about, where is he? I forgot to put a photo up of him. Let me get, where is he? I thought I had a photo. 1 second there. This is why you got to prepare the show. That's what I normally do beforehand, but I completely forgot to get an image. So let me quickly get an image of Rasmus. I like the name Rasmus. Let's go for that one. Looks mean. Here he is. There's the man in question. So we know full well, right? We've spoken about it so many times. A striker is Manchester United's priority this summer, right? I don't need to tell you that. You know that yourself. It is absolutely the #1 transfer target. Do we need a midfielder? Yes, we do. Do we need a goalkeeper? Well, that's a debate we've had and we will continue to have. Do we need another right back? Probably, given that we're looking at the likes of Brandon Williams and Telles and Bay and maybe Wan-Bissaka leaving as well. But Rasmus Højlund is a name on the list. My list of strikers includes Harry Kane, Victor Osimhen, probably Gonzalo Ramos, Rasmus Højlund, maybe a little bit of Evan Ferguson as well. A little bit of a teaser for the video that's going to be coming out on my sort of shopping list looking at strikers. But Rasmus Højlund is one of those strikers. And reports are coming out from Denmark saying that Manchester United have shown a so-called letter of interest, like somebody's walking up with a little like red letter. Here you go. We're interested in signing him. Old school. Apparently, it's a written statement which shows that both Manchester United and Real Madrid are interested in signing him this summer. And I think this warrants a conversation that we should be having around Rasmus Højlund. Lawsy Ray saying, Wan-Bissaka's leaving. I'm not saying that's a personal feeling. I think the Manchester United Erik ten Hag will be, if we can get a good price of Wan-Bissaka, move him on and reinvest that money into a different sort of right back. Wan-Bissaka is really, really impressed and improved, but he's learning something new. But we can speak about that. And you're saying he just looks like he's just stepped out of a 90s school, very 90s haircut. But let's speak about this lad, right? Big up to Stephen for helping with this sort of these sort of data visualizations. I think make it much easier for people to understand about a player. So hopefully you'd enjoy these. Hopefully I'm going to have plenty more of these across the summer. I think it's a little bit of a level up on the transfer content here on United People's TV, because data isn't everything, but data is a massive part of modern football scouting. And it's going to be it's actually a big, I've got a video prepared on this as well. Manchester United have hired, Dominic Jordan was, I think, the head of data that was brought in last year. We've also brought in a man called Alex Klein from Southampton, if I'm correct as well. Data is becoming a bigger part of Manchester United's scouting department, as it should do. What data will help you do, it won't identify the perfect player, but it can rule out like probably 80% plus of the players who just don't quite fit. And then you need to have the actual scouts who have watched him in action and actually have a bit more of an understanding. But these are the stats of Højlund's season so far. Let me go down there so you can go full screen. You can see he's played 26 matches for Atalanta in Serie A. He's got 7 goals, 2 assists as well. And I think if we take a look at this, right, this will help you understand his game a little bit more. Let me go a little bit smaller so you don't see my ugly mug. Over here is his pizza chart. So what this shows you, basically, the simple terms of this is the higher the number, the better he is compared to other strikers in Europe's top 5 leagues. So this pizza chart is comparing Højlund to every single other striker inside Europe's top 5 leagues. That's what they show. So the higher the number, the better. So we can see down here, he's in the 93rd percentile for touches in the box. He's busy. You can see right there that he doesn't take many shots, only in the 55th percentile. But in terms of the goals, his return. So that tells you there that his conversion rate is pretty good. Non-penalty expected goals per shot means it's pretty impressive down there. What's this one? 80%. This one's key passes. Over there, you've got successful box entries. And I think this map here is quite important, right? What this is showing you, so this is showing all the touches per. He gets 42 touches per game, but look how spread this map is. I think that really can kind of give you a little bit of insight into what sort of player he is. Højlund is not particularly a out-and-out number 9, right? We go down here and we look at a few more of these, right? This is showing his shots, the ones that are a full circle are the ones that he scored from. Variety, inside the box, every single one of them. Receptions of progressive passes. Again, comparing that to this one over here in terms of his touches, look at this. Højlund drops deep. Højlund is not a Victor Osimhen, for example. Victor Osimhen is somebody you know full well. He's going to be in that box. He is going to be the predator on the end of the shot. Right? He's not particularly going to be somebody who's involved too much in link-up play. Now, Højlund at Atalanta this season, he's played in either kind of like a 3 up front with Lookman and Zapata, I believe, or he's played kind of up front in a 2 alongside Lookman. He's kind of rarely played as an isolated number 9. It depends whether you think Manchester United will sign that proper, isolated, traditional number 9, because that's not really Højlund. Okay? We go back here and we look at these ones here. In fact, we don't need that anymore. Let's quickly get that off screen. They're cool, aren't they? Big up Stephen for helping make these happen, because I think visualizing data is something that really helps people. I can see someone down there in the comment asking for something. Let me see if I can get this whilst we're on stream together. Alex, I saw you ask, can you compare Højlund to Evan Ferguson? Let me see if I can do this whilst we're on stream together. I want to do player comparison. Player report. Oh, God. Should have asked me to do this. 2 players. Player 1. Cool. Okay, we might be able to get it. I'm not sure. Let me have a quick look. Because obviously Evan Ferguson. All right, there we go. Have I got that there? Yeah. Come on, don't say I don't treat you well. This one here is comparing Ferguson to Højlund. In terms of, so Evan Ferguson is the red one, Højlund is the blue one. Because these are 2 young strikers who, well, they're very exciting. I would say they're different types of strikers. I've watched a bit more of Evan Ferguson rather than I have compared to Højlund, I'll be completely honest. But if you look at the percentile charts here, let's kind of zoom in a bit more. We don't need my face. You can see here that Evan Ferguson, he's having far more shots. He's having more goals, more expected goals as well. But look down here. Actually, you can't really see those. Look down here in terms of take-ons. And this is what I mean about that different sort of striker. Evan Ferguson is in the 32nd percentile of take-ons. He doesn't really dribble past players because he doesn't need to. That's not what sort of player he is. He's a goal scorer. Hence why he scored more goals and had more shots. Whereas Højlund, he's taken on players a hell of a lot more. He's got way more key passes, way more successful box entries, different sorts of players. And it all depends on what sort of striker Erik ten Hag wants to sign. And I think it's whether or not we can. I wish we could afford more than. I wish we could afford more than one of them. I don't know whether we can this summer because FFP will have an impact on Man United this summer. I can't accurately say at this moment in time how much we're going to be able to spend, because that's massively going to change according to how much we sell. And you can do all the research in the world, but you don't know how many players United are going to sell, and that's going to completely impact how much we can spend. Daniel Mills with a comment down there, which I don't particularly think is fair. He's saying he looks like another Wout Weghorst. I wouldn't say that at all, right? Just because I'm saying that he's good at link-up play. Wout Weghorst, when he was playing good for United, was somebody who received the ball and passed it off to somebody else. That was the quality of his link-up play. Rasmus Højlund is somebody who can drive past a player, who can take a man on, beat that man, who can drive into the box. He's not. I think it's unfair to say that he's Wout Weghorst, right? Weghorst did a job, but he was a placeholder. Rasmus Højlund, he's 20, he's exciting, and according to these reports, both Man United and Real Madrid are interested in him. Definitely one to watch. I'm not sure what sort of striker Erik ten Hag is going to be looking for, because if you look at Ajax, right, there's different types of. If you just look at who the strikers that ten Hag has had, you've got he had Tadic, who was there. I think that was when Ajax won the Champions League, but then he signed Sebastian Haller, two completely different types of number 9s. And then you look at Manchester United. So far, we've had what? Ronaldo, we've had Weghorst, we've had Martial. If you're looking at Man United's best football so far, it's happened with Martial in the team. And he's not a traditional number 9. He's somebody who does link up really quite well. It's going to be interesting. It really will be interesting to see who Manchester United go after. But this is exactly why I'm going to be doing a video that's going to be coming out soon. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Going to do a video looking at 5 different strikers in the same way that I just looked at Højlund. So we'll just pull this up one more time. As I said, big up to Stephen for helping elevate the transfer content ahead of this summer, because there's so many players we're going to look at, and I'm going to try and bring you as much insight as possible. So this is us taking a look at Højlund. We take a look at his pizza chart, comparing to top 5 strikers, to the strikers in the top 5 leagues, and what sort of striker he is. This one's an interesting one as well. If you look at the progressive passes received, so Vinicius Jr. right at the top. What progressive passes received means is that whenever he receives the ball, he drives forward. He progresses the ball further forward than when he received it. And Rasmus Højlund is there. Look, you've got Vinicius Jr., Rafinha, Saka, Mbappe, Foden, Martinelli, and there's Højlund with just over 11 per 90. It's impressive. Almost impressive as Stephen for helping me make these. I say help me make these, making these. For United People TV. So everyone say thanks very much, Stephen. One absolute ledge. Højlund, I'm excited about the prospect. I think that almost warrants a video in itself. Ferguson against Højlund, comparing and seeing which one fits the system more, because that's when you can start looking at tactics and start looking at starting 11s and how they would shape up and the differences. And it's cool. This is the sort of stuff that Man United scouting department probably are doing and should be doing behind the scenes, but it doesn't mean that we can't do it as a community. I think rather than just saying, we link with the player, brilliant. Would you want to sign him? Let's try and dive a little bit deeper and try and understand it a little bit more. That's what I think. So anyway, that's why we're doing these. So we'll speak about Højlund, probably in a bit more detail. I'm going to do my top 5 strikers that we should be looking at. I'm going to do the same thing with midfielders, going to do the same thing with right backs, maybe do the same thing with goalkeepers too. They're the 4 positions I think United, if we're going to be busy in the summer, ideal situation, we sign all of them. I think they're the 4 signings we are going to be making. So that's why I'm going to be doing one video per position, and then probably more in-depth videos. I've already done an in-depth video on Victor Osimhen. Definitely going to be doing one on Højlund. Maybe doing one. I've got one prepared on Evan Ferguson already. Lots of transfer content. So if you haven't subscribed already, I encourage you to do so. But let's talk about the game tonight, right? We go over here. Of course, we are playing here. I'm looking forward to seeing this game tonight, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing this man back. You can see, look, he's back on the wall, and he's back with the squad. Marcus Rashford travelled to Seville with the team, as did Marcel Sabitzer, as did Luke Shaw. Let's have a look at the full travelling squad here. You've got De Gea, Butland, and Vitek. Vitek, of course, is the young goalkeeper. I think he was on the bench against Forest, wasn't he? Young goalkeeper. I think Butland was injured. Actually, no, Butland wasn't injured. He was on there as well. Sod knows. Anyway, he's a 3rd choice goalkeeper. Defenders, we've got Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire, Malacia, Shaw, and Wan-Bissaka. Midfielders, you've got Casemiro, Eriksson, Fred, Iqbal, Sabitzer, Anthony. We've got Elanga, we've got Martial, we've got Pellistri, Rashford, Sancho, and Weghorst. Nearly a full. Who's missing from that? Garnacho. Is Garnacho the only player who's missing from that? I think. I'm not sure. You can let me know. Malacia is obviously back to. I don't know whether Malacia was dropped for the game against Forest. I think Erik ten Hag said that he was suffering from illness. But let's be totally honest. I reckon sometimes when Ten Hag says a player is ill, a player's probably just been dropped. But let's see, right? Because this man is back. We've already got the poll up today, and I'll take a quick look at the results so far. We've got 700 votes. Man, I love this. Love this community, man. 700 votes, and 89% of you, 89% think that United will go through. That is a serious percentage. How many of you think Rashford will start? Do you think Rashford will start? Type yes or no. Type it in the comments. Because he was in my starting 11 for the prediction. And I'm kind of thinking, might have been wrong in that prediction. But you can let me know whether you think Rashford will start, because we need to win tonight. Well, we don't need to win. The success or the failure of this season isn't defined by whether we win tonight. But Ten Hag wants to win. Ten Hag wants the cup treble. We are on for a cup treble. It's going to be hard. Obviously, if we somehow get past, let's say somehow, if we get past Brighton on Sunday, very much an informed team, that'll be hard. Then we're probably going to face City in the final. And they look like a team of Terminators at this moment in time. We're all begging Real Madrid to do some madness in the semi. Please, Real Madrid, do a madness in the semi-final. Come on. You did it last year. Not asking too much for you to do it 2 years on the trot, all right? Please. The world needs it. Let me see whether you think Rashford will start the game. Right. Dip. Man, so many comments that fly in. I wish I could show you this. It's awesome. Let's fire through them. No. Yep. I would say quite well. Look, quite a lot of you are saying no, but quite a few of you are saying. I would say, if I'm trying to do my calculations here, I would say probably 80-20. No, 75-25. That's what I would say. 75% of you do not think that Rashford will start. This is what Ten Hag said about it. He said he had one training session with the team, but he had some individual sessions before. And he said, look, they're all available. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on the plane. Obviously. Now, this was my start 11, right? You can let me know in the comments. What do you think I've got wrong? What do you think changes? And we can chop and change. I'll be honest, I'm thinking of things I might have got. I'm not sure whether Rashford starts. I'm not sure whether Sancho will start in the number 10. I'm pretty sure Shaw will start. I think Shaw will start. I'm not sure about these two. They're probably the two positions I would say. I'm not really sure about those two, but it feels like I'm right on the other ones. Let's have a look. Sabitzer starts, says Dudley. Delo for sure. Obviously, Delo had a pretty impressive game against Forest. It was Forest, sure enough, but still Delo in that inverted fullback role was quite impressive. And Ten Hag does like to play players on form, doesn't he? Like the McTominay example, after Scotland, when he scored 4 in 2 games, we played Newcastle away. Yeah, sure, we had Casemiro out and Eriksen out. That probably was a big reason. But McTominay played further forward. He was absolutely abysmal, and he changed it in the second half, but he gave him an opportunity. Let me see whether you agree with that. Do you think Delo or Shaw will start? Let me have a say down there. Paul, you think that we could get Sancho on the left wing with Sabitzer in midfield? And I don't think that's a terrible shout, right? I do think that could well happen. If we're looking at how Manchester United has played in recent weeks, Sabitzer has been really quite impressive. Really quite impressive in that number 10 role. And let's be completely honest. Like, replacing Bruno is impossible. It is. Replacing Bruno is definitely impossible. So you have to try and compromise as much as you can. And Sabitzer, of all the players in that team, he's the one most likely to help in the transitions. And that's a big thing that Ten Hag is always, he keeps, anytime that Bruno has a great performance, which is most games, he praises his ability in transitions a lot. The fact that Bruno's always there defending and helping the team and covering and tracking back, but then also bursting forward and helping Manchester United on the transition to attack. Ten Hag loves Bruno for that. And if we're looking at players that could do that, you're probably looking at Sabitzer. So I think you're probably right. Okay. I predicted that Sancho would start there, and I predicted that Sancho would start there and that Rashford would start in that left wing. I think I've got those wrong now. And I think this is probably far more likely. My instinct is that Luke Shaw will return. Because we're not playing Martinez or Varane, I think he'll want a little bit of seniority down there on at left back. Unless he's not fit enough. As Ten Hag said, they're all on the plane. They're all going to be fit to play. It's whether or not you think that he'll risk. Is it a risk? I think it will be a risk to start Rashford. No idea how. What was Shaw even injured with? Oh yeah, he went off with like a muscle. He went off with a precautionary. Was it a hamstring? I think it was. Was that in the first leg against Sevilla? Was that the game before? I can't remember. It's a couple of weeks ago. But that was the last time we saw Shaw. I don't know. We could see Delo there. We could see Shaw there. I kind of think you're right about that front four. And that front four is good enough to beat Sevilla. Just like it was in the first leg. And that's what Ten Hag will be wanting in this game. Now, we dominated it. Sevilla are crap. This season, compared to how they were, Sevilla are crap. Look, we've got Eriksen, we've got Sancho, we've got Casemiro, we've got Martial, we've got Antony, who's banging form. Yes, we're missing Varane and Martinez, and that's going to be an issue. I'll be totally honest. Maguire and Lindelof impressed me against Forest. Maguire for the first 10 minutes was a bit of a car crash. It looked like the pressure got to him. That early yellow card, I was like, that's the worst thing he could have got, Harry. And the crowd was getting on his back. He improved in the second half. Man United defensively was sound enough, but Sevilla's definitely going to be harder. I think Montiel was missing. Remember the left back who Antony was having scraps with last time? Alex Telles, could he start? I think Alex Telles is eligible to play, despite the fact that he's obviously a United player. Do you remember when Morientes was on loan from Real Madrid to Monaco, and they didn't include a clause that he couldn't play against them, and then he knocked them out of the Champions League? I love that story. Oh, look, we've got a new member joining. We've got Chris with... Is that Muppet? Is it called? I can't remember the name of the Muppet. What's the name of the Muppet? Forgotten. But big up to you, Chris. Let me know where you're watching from, dude. I'll try and give you a shout out in the comments. Daniel, you're saying the front four is good enough. The back four isn't. Hey, dude, this is what we've got to work with. Is that back four good enough for Manchester United? Beaker, that's the name of it. Is that back four good enough for Manchester United in the long term? Nope. Is that pretty much the best that we've got right now? Yeah, pretty much. That back four is pretty much as strong as it gets. Unless you want to put Delo in at right back instead of Wan-Bissaka. You could do that. Beaker, that's the name. That is the name of the... Thank you very much. Forgot about him. Alex, your hero. Yeah, ledge. By the way, I'm working on the trailer for the website. Don't worry, it's coming soon. Big up to Alex. Nathan, you used to look like Beaker when you were a baby. Nah, that's unfortunate, dude. It's unfortunate. I was a good-looking kid. I don't know what happened. I really have no idea what happened. And kind of a fair point there, saying the back... I wouldn't say the back four is irrelevant, but as long as our midfield does the job, there shouldn't be as much pressure on them. So tonight with Casemiro, what was it? What was the last game? Oh, man, away at Barcelona. Remember Casemiro away at Barcelona? Was it Ansu Fati who was on the ball? And he was just squaring up to him, just like looking at him like he was a little kid. I think Casemiro is going to be quite important tonight. Control is everything. And we've got more than enough quality there going forward to slap them up. And we did. We slapped them up in the first half against Sevilla at Old Trafford. It was one of the most impressive first 45 minutes of the season. From the first whistle, we turned the screw. We got the early goal and we killed him. It was Gavi, by the way, against Casemiro. Right. There you go. I would say Alex, kind of a fair point. Casemiro has been a little bit quiet since his return. I think he has been a little bit quiet, but I absolutely expect him to he'll re-find his feet. He will. I've got absolutely no doubt. Casemiro at this moment in time is looking a little bit more like the earlier version of Casemiro, but that's because he's Any player who misses a month of football, it doesn't matter how good they are. If you get somebody who can just come back in after not playing for a month and they play like they've never been away, they're the anomaly. Even the best players like Casemiro take some time to come back in, but once he finds his rhythm again, he's just going to be good. Come into form now, please, Casemiro. Away at Sevilla, against Brighton at Wembley in the FA Cup semi, and then away at Spurs. If I want you to be in form for 3 games, make it those 3 games, and then make it the Europa League semi-final, and then the final, and then the FA Cup final, and then win it all. Easy as that. Easy as that. Max, whee, man, there's so many legends in the community. So many, I can't even name them all. Honestly, Max, you are a ledge. Joseph, you're saying thank you very much. Everybody say thank you very much. Robert, you're predicting that Casemiro is going to be dominant tonight. Of course, Casemiro, I think now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that, Bruno got suspended with a yellow. Casemiro's on the same point. I think they've now been reset, haven't they? I think they have. So does that mean that if Casemiro gets a yellow card tonight, he won't be suspended for the first leg of the semi if we get through? I think that's right. I'm not sure, though. And you're saying we're going to be missing Martinez. Man, there isn't a player like there is only one Martinez in this team. He's an absolute. He's like the perfect tag team partner in wrestling, isn't he? He's like he's properly G'd up. He's always just teetering on 100%, but never seems to overflow. But permanently just full of energy, full of fight, and it does make a big difference. Lindelof, I thought, played okay against Forest, and he's going to have to play well tonight. Let's just hope that United do the job properly. Sevilla shouldn't be bowing that. They shouldn't be pressuring our goal too much. They really shouldn't. That's a nice little segue there, because Erik ten Hag said a few interesting things about David De Gea in his pre-match press conference. I've spoken about De Gea quite a few times. We've had plenty of debates, and we will continue to have plenty of debates around David De Gea and his long-term future at Manchester United. In the short term, looks like he's going to sign a new deal on reduced terms, coming down from, 375 grand a week. We're seeing reports in the region of 200,000. We don't know what that is, but it's definitely going to be less than 375. And Ten Hag was questioned about him in his pre-match press conference. Said this. He was asked, he said, look, stopping goals, that's the main job for a goalkeeper. Everyone has their own particular style. Nowadays, in possession, it has become more and more important at top levels. And this isn't, I don't want this to just descend into a debate about whether De Gea is the right goalkeeper or the wrong goalkeeper. I think I've already made my point clear on that, and quite a few of you have made your points clear. I would say, in terms of stopping goal, look, De Gea right now, he's leading the Golden Glove race in the Premier League. I think he's on 14. Manchester United, I believe, have kept 27 clean sheets this season, which I think is the most out of Europe's top 5 leagues. But Ten Hag, he said this. He goes, at the end of the day, it's about stopping goals, shots and crosses in one-on-ones. I think David De Gea is a complete goalkeeper. And that kind of made me go, what? Complete goalkeeper? I wouldn't go that far. Now, I think Ten Hag has kind of shown what sort of manager he is. Any Ajax fans, you can let me know in the comments below. Was there ever any occasions when he was Ajax manager where he sort of went after a player in public? You know how Mourinho did it. That is the standard Mourinho style. Calls out players in public, throws them under the bus. Some people agree with that decision to do that. Some people didn't, and it caused debate and arguments. From everything I've seen so far with Ten Hag and how he manages players, Ronaldo's situation, the perfect example. I don't remember Ten Hag, chatting shit about him in the press. He would always be like, he's training very well. I want him in the team. He's world-class, goal scorer, X, Y, Z. I think that's just Ten Hag's style of management behind the scenes. And I've always felt that's the best way to do management, because you need to keep that front-facing unity between your squad and your manager, right? As soon as you start throwing players under the bus, you make it clear that there is like a bit of a siege mentality going on. You're either with me or without me. Apparently, comments down there saying that he never calls out his Ajax players. He did after one refused to be on. Was that Noah Lang? Remember when he had a go at Noah Lang? Yeah, cool. Oh yeah, he did have a go at Ronaldo after he refused to be subbed on. De Gea, wow, come on, man. Just keep improving bit by bit. Just head in the right direction. Go on an upward curve. Make me eat humble pie. Mate, look, Wan-Bissaka's made me do it. I would be more than fine. More than fine if De Gea did it as well. Jim Wall, stop trying to twist it, Sam. Listen to the manager. He speaks the truth. Accept it. What do you mean? Accept. De Gea's not a complete goalkeeper. Come on. Come on, people. Let's not be silly about it, right? I know what he's doing. Of course what he's doing. He's going for the confidence boost. I think Ten Hag clearly wants De Gea. Whether he's here for the long term, I do not think that's going to be the case. Let's find out, all right? Let's find out. Back with my agenda. Here we go with the agenda. Dips, you're saying, remember, Sam, what you said over Wan-Bissaka? That's what I said, man. I ate humble pie over Wan-Bissaka. Fully prepared to go knife and fork and eat humble pie over David De Gea. Please. Yeah, come on, man. Make me look like a dick. I'm more than fine with that. It would be great if David De Gea all of a sudden just like flipped. It's about, it'll be interesting tonight, right? Watch see whether Sevilla, because they should, depends whether they do it or not. Sevilla should be pressing us from the front. His last 4 games, I don't know why. Sevilla didn't do it at Old Trafford. Forest didn't do it. Brentford didn't do it. And Everton didn't do it. None of them pressed our defense and De Gea like Newcastle did. I don't know whether it's because they didn't have the fitness for it. They didn't have the organization for it. Maybe there's a few reasons. But Sevilla should be doing it if they know how to play against United. Maybe that'll leave too much space. Maybe they won't do it. And then that helps and suits De Gea. It does. Henrik, you're saying, Sam, you ate that humble pie on Wan-Bissaka, yet you still want him to leave. I never said I wanted him to leave. I said, if Manchester United will get a bid for Wan-Bissaka that's a good bid, I think we'll accept it. I think that we would sell him and then sign someone who really naturally fits. Because Wan-Bissaka is improving, but he is not naturally good at what he is improving at. He's improving at it. And that's a good thing. But nature is, well, it's second nature, isn't it? Casemiro, he doesn't have to think about being a defensive midfielder. It's just his body moves in those natural areas, his muscle memory. He's naturally a good central midfielder. Rashford is naturally a good left winger. Put him in the middle, it's a little bit, it kind of works, but it's not quite as good as he is on the left wing. I think that's what Erik ten Hag is going to be looking at in terms of a right back. And I don't know whether that's going to be Jeremy Frimpong. Is it Vanderson? Is another one we've been linked with. That's going to be a separate video in itself. We can discuss that a little bit further down the line. Clive Stoneman, a goalkeeper's main job is keeping clean sheets. James Brown, you are totally wrong about De Gea. Make you eat humble pie. Some fans honestly don't. What a joke. You don't realize or appreciate what you have. I appreciate what we have. And I realize what we have. And I know the strengths and the weaknesses of that. And if you don't want to admit them, cool. That's fine. I can see them. And because I call them out, I've got an agenda. X, Y. I don't have an agenda. De Gea has been incredible for Manchester United. As Ten Hag said there, nowadays, in possession, it's becoming more and more important at the top level. You can, if you don't want to say what's in front of you, cool, man, that's fine. Because De Gea has been incredible. If you just want to focus on those, there you go. Here's the agenda rearing its head. It's funny, man. It's funny. It's hilarious. I love it how anybody calls me out for an agenda. Like, what do you actually think my agenda is then? Anybody who calls me out for it, I'm curious to know. What is my agenda against De Gea? What, that I can't? I don't know. What is? I'm curious as to what it could actually be. I'm trying to think. Was it the fact that What I just personally hate De Gea and I can't compliment him, or I can't. I don't know. I don't even know what the agenda against De Gea would be. So I'm genuinely I'm curious. I'm curious down there, dude. You're being trolled. Yeah, maybe I'm being trolled, but that's what I want to know, because I see it so often that it can't just be a troll. And if it is a troll, it's a very organized troll. Gabor is saying, Sam, can you please show visually what is exactly wrong with De Gea? I know you say distribution, but what exactly do you mean? Can you show some footage? I can't show any footage, Gabor, but all you need to do is watch go and watch game against Newcastle if you want. That's the most recent example of it. In those games, which are the high level, which there are only like 4, 5, 6 of them in the league, those teams that will aggressively press you, that's when De Gea and the weaknesses come to the game, because the top elite level teams are playing like that in the modern game. As Erik ten Hag says there, it's becoming more and more important at the top level. De Gea, that's where weakness is. De Gea's mid, I would say De Gea's mid distribution that was always probably his strength. Those passes that are across, I would say 20 to 40 yards. The ones that you can like dink over a defender to the other fullback. He's always been good at them. What was the ball that he did? Was it, who was it against? Where was it they nearly got like an assist like a couple of weeks ago? His distribution is definitely getting better, but it's those on the ground passes, those quick moving 1-2s through pressing attacking formations. Let me see what you're saying down there. Did you play as a keeper? I actually did play as a keeper because I was so crap I couldn't play anywhere else. Sam, I back the manager and his choices as the players he wants. Also, Sam, De Gea is fixed and isn't good enough for Manchester United. JJ, man, you really do not like me, do you? You do not like my opinion on on David De Gea. Erik ten Hag said he trusts De Gea and wants him at the club as a number one keeper. You have to have your pioneer too. Man, it's cool. I'm fine. Let's move on from De Gea. Jesus Christ, people get offended about De Gea. Wow. My word. I thought it's definitely not as bad as it was against Ronaldo. That was serious. Whenever you mention Ronaldo, people came out guns blazing, guns akimbo. Wouldn't hear a bad word against Ronaldo. The dick. Won't apologise about that. Richard is saying, we know your agenda, Sam. It's best for United. I try to think I am. Scott. touchy. No, it's not. It's just I find it strange. I find it strange that anybody ever accuses me of agendas. It's weird. Really, really is weird. Anyway, this is a kind of a separate story. Going to move on from that. We'll wrap up. Well, actually, no, we've got 10 minutes left. Alejandro Garnacho is back in boots. He's back training. We don't know when he's going to return, but he is in the Argentina under-20s preliminary squad for the World Cup. And that starts, I think, on the 20th of May. And according to what I've been reading, I don't know whether this is completely true or not. Right? I don't know whether it's completely true or not. FIFA, Manchester United are obliged to let Garnacho leave for the under-20s World Cup if he makes the final squad. And if that does happen, it means that Garnacho would not be available for the Europa League final if we were to get there, or the FA Cup final if we were to get there. He would miss both of those games, which would be a massive shame. We looked yesterday at that chart. Nobody in this team progresses the ball forward more than him with the ball at his feet. Nobody's even close. I think it's Anthony and Sancho who are second and third, but they are some way off. Josh, you're asking down there whether we were obliged. I don't know. I don't know how the rules work. It seems a bit weird. Are clubs obliged to let players go for international tournaments like that? Well, don't do mid-season, first of all. That would be a simpler way to do it. But yeah, if that is the case, then we probably, with Garnacho season's probably done then. And I'll tell you what, he'll want to do it. Remember how upset he was? I wasn't upset. Kind of was a little bit. When he missed out on the opportunity, he was never really going to the World Cup. And I think, if I'm correct, let me quickly check this. FIFA under 20, I think it might be in Argentina. FIFA under 21 World Cup, where is it? Argentina. Yeah. I doubt we'll see Garnacho for the rest of the season. There you go. FIFA confirms Argentina as the host nation for the under 20 World Cup. So I don't personally think we'll be seeing Garnacho play for United for the rest of the season, because there's no way that he pulls out of that. A home under 20 World Cup after Argentina won the World Cup. Yeah, I think we can probably safely say that, hey, look, Garnacho might be back for a couple of games before it, but he's definitely going to that World Cup. And you can't blame him for that. I don't think so anyway. Ray, how you doing, buddy? Sending a super chat. Thank you very much, dude. You say, morning, Sam. Players returning to fitness is good for the running. Absolutely is good for the running. It really, really is. We've got, who have we got back? We've got Marcus Rashford, who's just come back. Got Sabitzer, who only missed that. What he pulled out of the game against Forest, and no one really knew why, but he's fit and he's travelled. Got Shaw, he's there. Malacia, he's travelled too. It's good. It's necessary, especially after last week with the disappointment of Varane and Martinez. Last couple of minutes, I'll answer all the questions you want to fire in. What are we at now? Let's have a look at the poll. We've got 1,100 votes. Look at that. We've got 1,200 votes, and there's only 300 likes on the video. So if you can, there's 900 of you. You take 1 second now. Please drop a like on the video. Even if you think I'm a dick with my hater opinions. Hey, look. With opinions here on United People's TV, sometimes you have opinions that are different to me, but I like to think that I don't just dismiss them out of the hand, flip the bird, and then move on. I actually have a conversation. You might not agree with it at the end of it, but I like to think that I do take your points on board and we speak about it, even if you don't agree, right? Not everyone's going to agree. It's the beauty of opinions. What is today's midday video, says JJ? It's about how much I hate. No, it's not how much I hate Day. Because I don't hate Day. I love Day. But there won't be a midday video today because we've got the match tonight. So the next video that we're going out will be the match reaction to that game. Mania Weng. I agree with you on many things, Sam, except for Day. That's fair enough. Where's Fred been for the last couple of games? That's kind of a good point. Fred's kind of faded, not faded into the background, but I think pretty much because this man came through and really showed some cracking form. I think Fred's just, it goes to show, like, Ten Hag plays his players on form. Early this season, Fred was one of his guys. Remember that game against Spurs? It was like a 3 or 4 game period where Fred was his guy. And now Sabitzer's his guy. And Fred is behind the pecking order of Casemiro and Eriksen, who are now both back. Even when they weren't out, they weren't there, though. McTominay was a little bit further up the pecking order. But that's what you have. If you've got a squad there that you feel you can trust, you can chop and change, and no one's going to get too unhappy because they know that at some point they're going to be in the mix. But Martial, what's your prediction for tonight? All right. I've taken a look at the voting results now. We've got, as I said, 1,200 votes, and 90% of you think that we're going to go through. But what do you actually think the result is going to be? I think my prediction yesterday was 2-1. Oh, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a cracking game to watch in terms of just enjoying it, sitting back. That's really nice. I think it's going to be that there will be nerves in this game tonight. I think there will still be some United fans that are stained by the memory of Sevilla. I think they knocked us out under Solskjaer, didn't they? I was there in Seville for that game against Mourinho. Under Mourinho, 0-0. I think that's where De Gea had I remember De Gea in that game making an absolutely unreal save. Like from 4 yards out. You know, one of those ones he shoves his hands up, the reaction saves. That was a blinder. And then we lost at Old Trafford. I think that was the Champions League. Was that round 16? I think it was. Let me see what you're thinking in the comments. Jonathan, you think it's going to be 3-2. Chris, you're going for a 3-0 stroll. Man, I'd take that all day. I just don't think it's going to be the case. Paul, you think 3-1. Vicky, you think 2-1. 2-0, says Charles. 3-1, says Sar. Alex, you're going for a squeaky bum time, 2-1. That's personally what my prediction is. 3-1. Malps, you're worried about the Sevilla curse. Is that a thing? The Sevilla curse? I don't know. 3-1, 2-1, 2-1, 1-0 United, 2-0, 2-0. Well, 90% of you are confident that United are going to go through. I don't think it's going to be a particularly enjoyable. I think it's going to be a bit of a nervy game. I hope I'm wrong. I don't know whether we're going to see this guy start. I had him in my starting 11, but now that I've thought about it, I think Ten Hag probably, in an ideal world, would be looking to bring Rashford on for the last 20, 30 if he needs him, rather than starting him. However, if we look at how Ten Hag has managed his teams this season, he starts with his strongest teams and prefers to take them off for the last 40 minutes rather than bringing your stronger team on. That's typically what Ten Hag has done, but it might be a little bit different with Rashford because he's missed a couple of weeks with an injury. But look, I hope you enjoyed that show. I enjoyed that one. I hope you really enjoyed these. Let me go back to it because they're so good. They do elevate the quality of the content, I think. Big up to Stephen for helping make this little scout report on Rasmus Højlund. I'm going to be doing more of these across the course of the transfer window. We ran through all the stories on him. He's definitely one that we should be looking at, but there will be others too. And then we took that little quick comparison, live and direct, of Evan Ferguson to Højlund. There's plenty more that we can do on this. It's wicked. So make sure you do subscribe. I'll be back here for the match reaction. Today's a busy day in UPTV Towers. We've got the game at 8 p.m. We're going to be recording a podcast straight after as well. So make sure you subscribe. As I said, look, the pair of tickets for the game against Brighton, they're up for grabs. Free to enter. It will take you 30 seconds. It's open to UK only because it's a Thursday and the game's on Sunday. So anybody else who's around the world, you're not going to be able to get here in time. So you can enter there. The draw is going to be done tomorrow on the live show. And also we're going to be, of course, the Xbox Series X is still up for grabs. Connor, you're saying, is there going to be a new episode of the pod? Hopefully recording that after the game tonight. It's going to be a big one. Every game now. You get into the business end of the season where every game feels big. There's not that many games left. It's been a serious season so far, but imagine we can do, if we do a cup treble. To do that, we've got to beat Sevilla. Think about that game first. I'll be here later on. Much love to all of you. I'll speak to you soon.